A children's Anuad. The first ones were brothers, Anu and Padme. They came into the void, and time began. As Anu and Padme wandered the void, the interplay of light and darkness created Nur. Both Anu and Padme were amazed and delighted with her appearance, but she loved Anu, and Padme retreated from them in bitterness. Nur became pregnant, but before she gave birth, Padme returned professing his love for Nur. She told him that she loved only Anu, and Padme beat her in rage. Anu returned, fought Padme, and cast him outside of time. Nur gave birth to creation, but died from her injuries soon after. Anu, grieving, hid himself in the sun and slept. Meanwhile, life sprang up from the 12 worlds of creation and flourished. After many ages, Padme was able to return to time. He saw creation and hated it. He swung his sword, shattering the 12 worlds in their alignment. Anu awoke and fought Padme again. The long and furious battle ended with Anu the victor. He cast aside the body of his brother, who he believed was dead, and attempted to save creation by forming the remnants of the 12 worlds into one. Nirn, the world of Tamriel. As he was doing so, Padme struck him through the chest with one last blow. Anu grappled with his brother and pulled them both outside of time forever. The blood of Padme became the Daedra. The blood of Anu became the stars. The mingled blood of both became the Aedra, hence their capacity for good and evil, and their greater affinity for earthly affairs than the Daedra, who have no connection to creation. On the world of Nirn, all was chaos. The only survivors of the 12 worlds of creation were the Elnophe and the Hist. The Elnophe are the ancestors of Mer and men. The Hist are the trees of Aragonia. Nirn originally was all land, with interspersed seas, but no oceans. A large fragment of the Elnophe world landed on Nirn relatively intact, and the Elnophe living there were the ancestors of Mer. These Elnophe fortified their borders from the chaos outside, hid their pocket of calm, and attempted to live on as before. Other Elnophe arrived on Nirn scattered amid the confused jumble of the shattered worlds, wandering and finding each other over the years. Eventually, the wandering Elnophe found the hidden land of Old Elnophe, and were amazed and joyful to find their kin living amid the splendor of ages past. The wandering Elnophe expected to be welcomed into the peaceful realm, but the Old Elnophe looked on them as degenerates, fallen from their former glory. For whatever reason, war broke out and raged across the whole of Nirn. The Old Elnophe retained their ancient power and knowledge, but the Wanderers were more numerous and toughened by their long struggle to survive on Nirn. This war reshaped the face of Nirn, sinking much of the land beneath new oceans, and leaving the lands as we now know them. Tamriel, Akavar, Atmora, and Yokuda. The old Elnophe realm, although ruined, became Tamriel. The remnants of the Wanderers were left divided on the other 3 continents. Over many years, the Elnophe of Tamriel became the Mer, also known as Elves. The Dwemer, also known as the Deep Ones, sometimes called Dwarves. The Chimer, also known as the Changed Ones, who later became the Dunmer. The Dunmer, also known as the Dark or Cursed Ones, the Dark Elves. The Bosmer, also known as the Green or Forested Ones, the Wood Elves. And the Altmer, also known as the Elder or High Ones, the High Elves. On the other continents, the wandering Elnophe became the Men, the Nords of Atmora, the Red Guards of Yokuda, and the Sayasi of Akvura. The Hist were bystanders in the Elnathe War, but most of their realm was destroyed as the war passed over it. A small corner of it survived to become the Black Marsh in Tamriel, but most of their realm was sunk beneath the sea. Eventually, men returned to Tamriel. The Nords were the first, colonizing the northern coast of Tamriel before recorded history. Led by the legendary Ysgramor, the 13th of his line, King Harold, was the first to appear in written history. And so, the mythic era ended. You have been listening to The Elder Books, an Elder Scrolls lore audio series. The stories and sound effects presented here were originally created by Bethesda Softworks and ZeniMax Media Inc. Original music by Plasma 3 Music. For more information, visit theelderbooks.com.